is homeschooling is definitely an alternative. Thank you, Michael, for coming and joining us tonight. It means a lot to hear from someone who's actually practicing what we're preaching. So hopefully this is a contagious attitude that we take on. And we get to do a
Appreciate
little
being
more.
invited.
Not a problem. Go ahead, Joy.
I have a question about the whole homeschooling thing. Just wanted to know, socially and social skills wise, like the earliest years of homeschooling, what are the earliest, years?
Okay, well, my daughter, she went to kindergarten. She went to pre-K with that in the actual school. But she skipped kindergarten, went directly into first grade homeschooling. So she's been homeschooled pretty much her entire academic career.
And what grade is she in?
Right now, she's in fourth grade.
And how's her social?
Social skills. Well, when you're in the homeschool program, whatever school in your area, the children can participate in that. So if they have plays at the schools or anything, you can participate in that. But what we do is actually put our daughter in like taekwondo. We have her in right now. I'm going to have her in guitar lessons coming up this year. We have her in dance. They had a nice performance last year. So we get them around children. You go to the planetarium on the weekends. You always find events, so they're always around children, but just not in the school environment, the school, proper school setting. And then keep in mind the children get out of school, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. So you go outside and play with children. So you're not socially, you're not awkward. Yeah, you're not isolated, just sitting in the house all day and just no interaction, period. You're just getting a superior education. Well, my opinion, a superior education from my standpoint.
Yeah, so there are a lot of myths about homeschooling, and I don't know if they're myths or not. I'm just not researching this stuff myself. So, but maybe you can shine some light on it. One thing that I know, my family always have questions about is like, do I really have time to do this? As I run a business, my wife, we both run a business together. We're busy a lot of times during the day. How do you balance that?
With us, because it's internet based, it's a curriculum. So all we're doing is just following the curriculum. So it's not like we created a curriculum and having it, because we're not actual teachers.
Right.
So it's a commitment. Don't get it wrong.
Right.
And it's not easy. You do have to do it. Sometimes you do schooling in the evenings. By me, when I left the corporate plantation, I'm home now. So so it's easier for me to just monitor what's going on, to make sure that they're watching the videos, to make sure they're doing the work, to check in with the teachers, that sort of deal. So by me being home, that makes it easier. When I was working and my wife was at home, that made it easier as well.
Right.
So when both of us are working, when in that brief period of time when I was still on the plantation, a lot of schooling was done in the evenings.
I'm glad you escaped from that plantation, brother.
No problem.
So,
Glad the plantation let you go.
Exactly.
Because
I'm
most
trying to do it.
plantations won't let you go. I'm just saying, if
They
you
don't
want
have
to call
choice.
it.
Yes, they will.
they don't have
No,
any
they won't.
choice.
They will.
It's a right to work state.
You want
Exactly.
to go back?
So, but I got another question too. As far as like, what kind of things are you up against? Like, do you have problems with unions? Do you have problems with maybe like the government, or even like the public schools? Like, have you run up against any?
No. Annually they have to take a test.
Okay.
So it's a statewide test. I think that in Georgia, if you was going to school as well, I guess you would take the same test.
Yeah, milestones.
Whatever it's called here in Georgia. I'm sorry I wasn't prepared for that
Public
question.
school. No.
But no, annually you take a test, and as long as you're passing the test, you're meeting Georgia requirements. The school itself, like I say, it's an internet-based school, so they have all the checks and balances that need to be done as far as being promoted and that sort of deal. So a lot of that is not in my hands, or not in we don't deal with that. As far as unions and all that, like I said, I'm pretty sure Georgia's right the way it's the same as Florida, so I don't really deal with that.
Well, I did a little bit of research, and I know that there's a union, and I can't remember the name of the union right off top, that has a serious problem with homeschooling. To the point where in some states they are forcing homeschool students and parents, to put their kids back in public schools.
And it makes sense because the education is better. Well, like I said, I don't want to be too biased, but in my opinion, education is better. Once people find out about this, once it's easy to just enroll your child in an internet-based homeschooling, Once you can actually monitor their homework or monitor their schoolwork, as a parent, it's much easier. I remember one of you was saying earlier during the break that when you ask a child what you did in the school all day today, and the child can't really recall it because day is so long and they're filled with. If you're being homeschooled, you know what your child did all day. Even days they want to just take off and just play. Okay, you need a break. Go out there and play. Go play in the leagues. In Georgia, you have winners here, so go out there and play and have fun and enjoy yourself.
But I got this book when you come in the house.
Exactly. Because it's internet based, so you know what I'm saying. So no, you don't have day work, you have school work, but you have homework.
Right.
Homework is 9 in the evening. So go out there and enjoy yourself, have some fun, take your breaks, but come in here now you have 90 minutes worth of schoolwork. So like I say, I love it.
There's a trade-off, but
it's
the reward is greater.
The reward is greater. Like I say, but it is taxing on the parent. I don't want to sugarcoat it and say it's something easy. It's not like you can send your child to a computer and let them do that and you go off and do your thing.
Right.
No, you still have to be up on it. So it is a challenge. Yes.
Right. So do you see like a change in maybe the family dynamics now?
I do because of my influence on my children.
Right.
When you're going competing against, when you're competing against the school system, for instance, you tell your child John Hanson was the first president of the United States, but they know in school is George Washington. When you're at home and you're teaching them, your word is the authority. So you're not competing against a teacher that's telling you, well, in order for you to pass this test, no, my child just get that question wrong on the test. Then how about that?
That's what I was gonna ask. So how successful are they when they go to college and when they go to other schools where you really want them to,
But see, I don't want my children to rely on their memory. I want my children to rely on thinking. Homeschool encourages thinking. So when you go to college, you know what I'm saying, a lot of stuff that you might have memorized, it doesn't really matter because if you know how to think, if you know how to read the book and dissect and use critical thinking skills of what the question they're asking you, what the instructor is asking you, you know what I'm saying, you're still going to succeed. So so thinking versus memory is what I'm encouraging.
And just FYI, if they go to a black school, they would ask that question, and John Henson would be the answer.
There we go.
I just was wondering on that, if they went to a regular university, and they would be a number. So how would they be compared to if they went to a Harvard or a UCLA? These are huge universities where you're really a number. So how would they really progress when you've taught them what you wanted them to know, but they want to graduate from this school and excel in law or excel in biology and become a doctor?
I mean, I think it's like within the school, you have people from small, Georgia, even though Atlanta's a big city, you have a lot of 500-town cities here. And those 500-town kids, they go to Harvard and Yale, and they're not exposed to a lot of stuff because their school district is small and the country, they might be so country or however you want to say it. But they go to the big schools and succeed. It's the same thing. If the child wants to graduate from Yale, they will graduate from Yale. If they want to graduate from a historical black college, that's what they'll do as well. It's up to the child to learn that information. It's not something that they would not get in the books that how I want to say this. When you go to college, all of your answers are still in your college book. Your answer is not in your 3rd grade book. It's not in your 10th grade book in high school.
Right.
All of your answers are still in your college book. So read your college book, and you answer the questions accordingly to that book. Now, what you know as far as educating yourself, once you teach your child that you're being miseducated anyway, but you're going to college just to get this degree to move to a different level, they could view it from that perspective.
Okay.
And it's not truth necessarily. It's just a requirement.
It's a requirement.
It's not
learning to
it's
get
their
ahead.
version of events.
Right.
Exactly.
Learning to get ahead.
Right, and
You
as
gotta
long
learn
as they
this
learn,
to do.
as he said, there's an annual test that they must pass every year, and that's the standard test that allows children in public school to matriculate. So I understand exactly what you're saying. They take the same test. The big difference is the idea that it begins to take a village to raise a child.
Correct.
You are actually the steward of their success more so in this case when you're doing homeschooling. You can monitor what's going on. You can chart their progress. And children will take it, I think, easier from someone that they know, telling them this is right, this is wrong. The punishment for not doing the work isn't as harsh, I wouldn't think,
No, it's not.
as the school system. And as I said, the school system may be failing our community because they've become numb to the idea of how to chastise children of color. And they've set different standards and hurdles for us. So again, bringing this conversation full circle, is it a better way? I mean, are we actually looking at homeschooling as the best alternative now? And if not, is the best alternative, are we not doing something outside of public education that will still give our children a well-rounded effect?
One thing we were speaking of earlier, we were talking about the ADHD and Ritalin, and
Right.
that's eliminated from being in the homeschool. Your child is
Right.
not attention deficit disorder.
That's just your child.
Because you're a child. You will put that time in and make sure they understand the lesson. Like I say, it's a different caring aspect that you will have with your own child.
And
So,
if I had that issue, I probably would definitely consider it.
mhm.
You know, because if I figured a teacher kept calling me or kept coming to me about a certain situation,
Correct.
I probably would find
You
other
get
alternatives.
frustrated.
Because I'm
Right,
not
right.
going to just, lie down and let my child be quote unquote dumb.
Labeled.
And they're not, well, yeah, like labeled
Labeled,
dumb.
right.
So I'll go ahead and take that extra mile. So I've just never thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
You've made me more neutral than against it.
More neutral, closer
Correct.
closer
Than
to warm.
against it. Because at first I was like, I gotta go to work. But it's now you made me think like I'm passing them off because
Right.
I gotta go to work.
Exactly. It's something to consider. If you can do it, I would say at least explore it. At least do your research, do your homework on it, and see if that's a viable option for your household.
Right.
Obviously, it's not a viable option for a lot of households. Some that you're able to do it, and you have the willpower to say, you know what, I'll at least give it a try. At least give myself the opportunity to fail at it. Go ahead.
Right. And also, people with younger children may want to ask at their daycare centers or at their after-school programs to basically monitor some type of homeschool program where they're learning an extra course or they're taking tutorial courses. And because I'm sure they don't have to be enrolled in the entire school, they can enroll in a class and do one thing that they may need help. They may need help on.
Correct.
Or may need to brush up on. And if they're already in an environment where there are other children, who knows how many other parents would endorse that idea and turn your daycare centers or your after-school programs into learning centers. Because we have to do something that is going to give our children a greater foundation, a greater stronghold, and let them know that school is not a place. School is just churning out workers.
Correct.
But no businessmen and no businesswomen,
Not
nobody
even
to claim
that
the community over.
Not even that anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Schools are not even turning out good workers.
No.
You know how many employers are looking for good employees? Like everybody is saying how hard it is to find a good employee these days.
Yeah.
And these are people who are coming out of these public and private schools.
Yeah.
Public and private.
It's not challenging anymore. So
It's not
what are
even-
we doing as a community to make sure that our children excel? I mean,
Yeah.
I have lots of nieces and nephews. That's why I call myself Uncle Sean.
Gotcha.
But I don't get to go home often. But when I do, I am amazed at the intelligence level of my youngest great nieces and great nephews. Yes, I'm that young. But because they're learning on such a level that before I've never seen children that age ready to do. But that's because we are living in an instantaneous
In the
age.
information age.
We're living in the information
Yes.
age.
Yeah.
They know how to program things that I'm still fumbling around with, and I'm like, are you serious? The child just did this? Call that child like you remember your mother used to call you to program the VCR.
Right.
Well, I'm calling my nieces and nephews to tell me how to use the phone.
Okay.
So
use this app.
I'm out of it.
FaceTime.
But, um,
computer for me.
Right.
FaceTime.
Can you write this paper? But Autumn, you've been quiet. But we're about. But before we go, we just want to let everybody know that it's been another great week with the Conscious Party. We've got just about a 5-minute wrap up, and again, I just want to remind everybody to join us this Thursday night at Coaxum Seafood Spot. We will have our first industry party there, but it's not the first time that we've had an opportunity to meet. As you know, I've done these types of parties for years here, and this is the first time I'm doing it under the banner of the Conscious Party. So I'm really looking forward to you all coming out and meeting the entire cast, as well as all the other radio shows that are sponsored here at IBNX, and as well as the many vendors that have already said they'd be in attendance. I want to give a shout out to Josie, and of course, because Paparazzi is going to be there, right?
Paparazzi,
right? That's her company, and also Priscilla Benjamin, listening all the way out there at Stockbridge, and all of my listeners out there in Jamaica, and all of my listeners in Chicago, and all of my listeners, hey Judy, in Virginia. So who would you like to shout out to? Because you just smiled at me. Go ahead. Autumn.
Child, I ain't got nobody to shout out to. Y'all talking about all this homeschooling. That is not my zhuzh. I was not born. That's not my lane to be a teacher. Don't have patience. I beat kids.
You're a teacher.
Yeah, no, I can have
She said,
my home all day.
Beat kids.
No,
And your daughter is what now? She's
She's abused.
No.
Your daughter's abused.
No,
Yeah.
no, your daughter
My
just picked up
oldest-
what degree?
my daughter is a chef.
Oh, okay. See,
My oldest
you
is a
did-
chef.
You must have beat success
You
into
know,
her.
no,
But-
she was a really good child. I didn't have that. You know, I had to have conversations with teachers because her teachers said that she, you know, was behind or special or whatever it was, and then you know her scores chopped off the top charts, and they were like, well, she's just an average student that does very well. And I'm like, the lies you tell. You can't come at me any kind of way when it comes to my kids. But my youngest one in school now, they give them too many opportunities and too many chances. So when she got to college, she was not prepared. And she didn't do well because she thought that she was going to be able to make the work up or whatever the case may be in college. She didn't know, but this is what she was taught. So, you know, we just need to make sure that we're preparing our children for college because the high schools aren't.
Right.
But again, this is Autumn Monroe. That's Miss Autumn Monroe on Instagram and Facebook, and Autumn Monroe on Twitter. And stay woke.
Dap.
Dap's World on Instagram, Dap Paxton on Facebook. Love y'all. Peace.
Okay.
Joy Leah.
Well, at Joy Leah, giving a shout out to all my teachers out there, and my especially my cousin Tasha Green, who's a early teacher, early morning teacher. But shouts out to all of them and my cousins and my family on Chicago and the East Coast and Atlanta, Arizona.
That's at Joy Leah on
At
Twitter.
Joy Leah on Twitter, IG, and Instagram.
Oh, were we shouting people out? Because I thought we was just...
He said send a shout out. I just want to give a shout out to my cousin.
I wasn't paying attention.
Because she's
Shout
a
out to
teacher.
everybody who's listening, who I texted earlier today, and y'all tuned in. Appreciate it.
Yes.
Much love.
All right, everybody.
Yeah, holler at anybody listen to Autumn. Hey.
Listen to us. Every
And again, I just
Monday.
want to thank Michael Brown for being with us this week. And I want to thank all of you for listening. So, once again, this is Uncle Sean and the Conscious Party. Looking forward to seeing you this Thursday at Coaxum Seafood Spot. So, come on out, meet the cast, meet the crew, and join the party. So, until next week, we're asking everybody to simply stay woke.
Stay woke.
Stay woke.
Baby, baby. Stay woke, y'all.
Persona Magazine present the Conscious Party.
Thank everybody.
Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. The first part of the show is on a different live feed, but it's on my page. Thank you. Bye.